What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Hayden with State 48 Turtle and Tortoise, and today I'm doing a voiceover because we went ahead and visited the famous prehistoric pets in California. I'm sure many of you guys have seen the TikToks and YouTube videos, so we're going to go ahead and be checking out things. First up, we have got some sulcata tortoises and Aldabra tortoises and leopard tortoises. They have a ton of sulcatas. Obviously, they get rescued. Here we saw a gorgeous gaboon viper and a croc monitor, which are freaking awesome. This is definitely an epic tour. Alrighty, up next we've got some lizards that I want to get someday. This is, I believe, a Lewisii hybrid iguana and an albino green iguana. These things are awesome. In these couple ponds here, they had some common snapping turtles in with some monitors, and that was it in these ones. The common snappers are super cool turtles. I would never want one though. And then in here, another common snapper, like I said, but up top they had a gorgeous, gorgeous lizard. A monitor, I believe a water monitor. Next up, we head over to the Anacondas. I believe he breeds anacondas, so he has a couple different aquariums and tanks with anacondas. This is a red iguana. Again, super, super cool animals. Another type of monitor. I don't recall what type of monitor it was, or not a monitor. That was a some sort of beaded lizard. Then a tegu. That is the Argentine black and white tegu. And next, this is where he films all of his big videos of him getting bit by big reticulated pythons on his TikTok. And then here we have a sweet pond with alligators, huge fish, there's some red-tailed catfish. Palcafar has a ton of those, but they aren't nearly as big. These things are ginormous. Absolutely awesome pond. So right here, he had a really cool peach throat monitor. I've actually never seen one of those. And he had a bunch of black dragons. I believe in this cage there was only one. Later on in the video, we're going to see a tank that has probably 5 of them in there. These are his famous alligators that he's taken out and made a couple videos about, and does special alligator experiences with people. And then he has a huge common snapping turtle and a huge alligator snapper back there. Hard to tell, but awesome turtle. I would love to have an alligator snapper, but illegal in Arizona without permits. Next, we've got the albino water monitor. This thing is absolutely awesome. And then he's got a little tank with a bunch of baby turtles in it. And baby turtles are always fun to look at. Okay, next up we have more turtles. These are eastern box turtles. He had several different ones in there, a couple of juveniles. The colors on these eastern box turtles are absolutely gorgeous. The males with the bright orange and yellow colors they can have, absolutely awesome. And then a little bit later we're going to see a couple of, I think it was a couple of easterns and a couple 3-toe box turtles. But absolutely cool. We got an alligator there. And they literally had so many reptiles. It absolutely blew my mind because I did not realize this place was that big and had that many different animals. Gorgeous little monitor there. And this is an Asian monitor, the same as the albino one that we saw earlier. Obviously, just the regular coloration. Alright, and here we have the gorgeous albino American alligator. This is just like Salt at Brian Barczyk's place. Honestly, a very similar size, but an albino white alligator. Absolutely gorgeous looking. That looks like some sort of chicken turtle or yellow belly slider there in the background. And then after I was walking away, I actually noticed there was another alligator, regular coloration. That's another snapping turtle, I believe. A regular colored alligator up on the ledge. But look at the gorgeous white skin on that. Next up, we've got frill lizards. I would love to have one of these. Brian Barczyk's got a couple of them, and actually had a couple of babies they hatched out a couple years ago that are super cool as well, but would absolutely love to have one of those. A ton of snakes here, obviously. Another albino iguana. And then coming up, we've got a feisty little iguana that kind of scared me a little bit. You'll see here when he whipped the glass, I kind of shook the camera a little bit. Got a little bit scared, but he whipped the glass a couple times. Definitely a gorgeous blue iguana. Super, super cool coloration. Alrighty, we've got here is a super friendly bearded dragon. Really cool white coloration. He came up to the glass every time I walked by. Bearded dragons are awesome, awesome pets to have. And right here, they have some hingeback tortoises. Super cool tortoises, oftentimes, and for the most part, imported in the United States. Definitely a cool tortoise, but not super common. This is a Savannah monitor. I think that guy's full grown there, so they stay relatively small. And then a couple Chinese box turtles down here. Camp Kennan has a herd of those at his house, and they are super cool turtles, and I'd love to get some someday. Here are those black dragons I mentioned earlier. I'm only showing 2 of them here, but there were about 3 or 4 more on the other side of the cage. And some redfoot tortoises and another water monitor. Someday, one day, we'll own one of those, and it'll be here on the channel. Next up, some gorgeous radiated tortoises. Another species we will see on the channel someday. It'll probably be a long ways down the road, but would love to involve them in the channel for some conservation. Croc monitor, never gonna own one of those. Sorry. So this is the animal that impressed me most. When my wife asked me what the coolest thing was I saw, was these yellow-headed water monitors. These are super, super cool. I didn't even know they existed, but they look absolutely awesome. I'd venture to say even cooler than the albinos. And here we've got another monitor just staring me down. But this is just one back aisle they have here with all sorts of snakes and lizards. Huge albino Burmese python, a granite Burmese python, another little box turtle just chilling by himself with a little friend there. And then as we walk down this hall, again, we already walked down this hall, so we saw some of this. Can't really see this king snake back there in the water, but always cool to see those, being that we're in California. And again, the albino alligator decided to start swimming for me. Coolest part right here. So this is the epic pond that Jay has at Prehistoric Pets in the entrance to the pet shop. These are obviously all rescue Radiated sliders, and it looked like he had one, maybe a couple painted turtles in there, a couple yellow-billed sliders, huge fish. I think they're pacu, but I couldn't be sure because I'm not a big enough fish guy. But literally so many radiated sliders. Super cool to see them. He had one really big yellow belly slider that was huge, and one, it looked like a toadhead turtle. It was also massive, but just tons of radiated sliders. They're very prolific turtles, very common to be rehomed. And then again, this is in the pet shop side. Got another group of sulcatas, which are obviously rescued very frequently. And then this little guy here, he's a tiny little male trying to breed a huge female, but that's kind of the way it goes in nature there for these turtles. But he just did not give up, kept chasing her around. And that concludes the tour there. This is at the Prehistoric Pets. This is Heidi here. In the morning, went to Disneyland, all tucked in, looking super cute. We went to Disneyland to take our foreign exchange student from Italy to be able to visit Disneyland and say that she's been there and see what it's all about. But that is going to be a wrap on the video for today. If you guys could like this video, click subscribe. We'll be bringing you guys back some content at the farm later this week. Appreciate you guys. Have a great one.